So I thought I would do a little get ready with me today. I'm boiling in here even though it's really cold outside, but I have got a couple of new makeup bits that I wanted to play with, and I just felt like kind of coming on here and chatting to you about my makeup really. And I have already kind of moisturised my skin and everything, and I'm going to go in with a little bit of primer first. And I'm going to use the NYX Shine Killer primer. And this is just a clear primer, a very kind of silicone-y primer. So if you don't like that kind of thing, this might not be for you. I'm looking in the mirror if you're wondering why I'm not looking in the viewfinder, because this isn't no mirror makeup challenge. So I'm just smoothing that onto kind of my most oily areas. For some reason I tend to find when I wear foundation here, it tends to get really, really oily. So just smoothing that on there, and that'll help to kind of control the shine. And the reason that I picked that was because I wanted to use quite a kind of dewy foundation, and my hair is making me even hotter. I wanted to use kind of dewier foundation. So I'm going to use the L'Oreal Lumi Magique Light Diffusing Foundation. And I'm going to just put this all over my face and then kind of blend it in with a beauty blender type of thing. I wore this yesterday and it does give a really, really lovely finish, but it gets a little bit dewy on me because my skin is quite oily. But I just want something kind of that's really light and pretty. I don't want anything really heavy. It's kind of gotten cooler now, but it's still not proper winter mode. So I just like the coverage that this gives and the tone of it really. And those of you who've watched me for a while know I don't put foundation on my forehead because it breaks me out, and I just don't really think that you need it everywhere. I think most people kind of need it in the centre of the face, and then that's it really, you know, like a little bit of redness. Even kind of putting it on my nose sometimes, I feel like I don't actually need the coverage. You're just kind of doing it for the sake of the evenness, which is good, but sometimes it can just get a little bit cakey looking, and I hate that. I really, really hate the look of cakey foundation. So I like to just use a really, really small amount, and then I'll kind of go in and conceal where I need to. And I'm not kind of, you know, day to day, I don't want to make my skin look so flawless that it looks like it's got no colour, no coverage, no nothing. So I'm going to leave foundation at that. I could probably do with a little bit more kind of in the centre. Yeah. I'm talking the talk, but I'm not walking the walk. I need a little bit more, I think, kind of around this area, just to cover up little bits of redness. The sponge I'm using is actually from Primark, and I'm testing this out because I want to do a video about kind of beauty blender dupes, because I've gotten really into putting my foundation on with them lately. I just feel like they help everything sink into the skin in a way that's much nicer than with a brush. So I'm going to just do it like this. But I do find that this is a little bit stiff for me. I have found a better one that's kind of a drugstore one that I find works much, much better than this one. But just kind of making sure it's all blended in. And there we go, that's fine. So now I'm going to go in with my concealer, and I usually use the Real Techniques Miracle Complexant sponge to blend this in, but I've left it in the other room, so I'm going to just use the sponge I used for my foundation. But this is the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer, and I love this. This just, I feel like nothing finishes the look as well as this does, kind of just makes everything look nicer. And I'm nearly out of it, you can see. And I went in to buy another one yesterday, and in Boots, and they were out of stock completely, and the lady said, well, what actually happened was, though I saw that they didn't have any out, so I then proceeded to open the drawers to have a look if they had any underneath, and then the lady sort of rushed over and she was like, yes, what are you looking for? Because you're not really supposed to open the drawers, but I couldn't see anyone to ask at that moment, so I just took it upon myself. But she said that they always kind of run out of stock of this because it's just so nice. And it really is. I mean, it just gives such a nice kind of lift and coverage without looking too cakey. It does settle into my fine lines, but I think that's more to do with kind of the shape of my eyes more than anything else. I mean, I'm not even 25 yet. I shouldn't be having fine lines in my eyes yet, should I? But anyway, I'm going to go in with some concealer now, and this is the Essence Match to Cover Cream Concealer. I'm going to use the lighter shade, and I'm just going to use this kind of under my brow bone as a subtle highlight. I'm really not a fan of shimmery highlights on the brow bone. I just think it looks a little bit dated. So I like more of a kind of skin colour. And I find if you do it kind of with a little bit of concealer first, it just tends to last longer and it looks a bit more polished. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of concealer on this little blemish here as well. And just tap that in with my finger. Not sure where that blemish came from or why it needs to be there. Then to cover up my pigmentation, where is the concealer I was going to use? Oh, here. So this is the NYX. What's this called? Let me just grab my brushes. If you actually saw the setup that I've got here filming today, it's like amateur hour 101. It's just ridiculous. But I don't have kind of, it's really difficult filming lately because I've got building going on outside, so I can't film downstairs, and I can't really kind of get stuff, kind of furniture in here to put it on, and it's just really awkward. But anyway, I'm using the NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer, which, as most full coverage concealers claim to be, is not full coverage. But I'm using it with a Real Techniques pointed foundation brush just to help disguise my pigmentation a little bit. I mean, it does do a decent job, but it's not a full coverage concealer by any means. I mean, you can still see it peeping through a little bit, which drives me mental. But the other thing about this is because it's quite a kind of solid concealer, the pot it comes in is so small it's kind of difficult to get your brush in. Probably does work better with fingers, but I just find with a flat brush it tends to help cover everything a little bit nicer. I always feel foundation looks so horrible here, like in this way, it just sits in your pores and makes everything look really horrible. But that's kind of base pretty much done, so I'm just going to powder now. I'm using a duo fibre brush to powder with, and I've been doing this a lot lately, and it's really changed kind of the application of my makeup. This is just from Nancy, and I'm using the Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. It's basically sort of a clear powder, like a blotting powder type of thing. So I just put this. Usually I only put powder kind of on my T-zone, but what with this being such a glowy foundation, I don't want it slipping off my face kind of midday, so I am gonna give it a bit of an extra powder in the centre as well, but I like to kind of push it in rather than move it around everywhere. So that's that. Then I'm going to go in with bronzer, and I've been using this brush from Wilko's, and it's the powder brush for bronzer, and I love it. It's such a good brush. And I'm going to use this little palette by Makeup Revolution, and this is the Ultra Contour palette. I'm going to use this to bronze, to contour and everything. Now for contour shades, I usually use this one right here, but I'm going to, for bronzer, I think maybe use that one there. So I'm just going to get some on my brush. These are very pigmented, so you want to be a little bit careful and just warm up my face, making the obligatory fish face. And always I do that weird thing where I close one eye when I'm doing my makeup. It's really weird. I know my sisters find it so creepy that I do this, but I don't know, it's just, it feels right doing it. So I don't know, I feel like I need to do that to kind of get my shape the shape right. But then I'm just going to take a little bit of my double chin down my neck, and there we go for bronzer. Then for contour, I'm going to use the contour shade that I mentioned, just on an angled brush. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I do definitely contour every single day. I just feel like my face really needs it. I know it's not for everyone, but on me it needs to be done, I feel. But I think it's because I have kind of got a bit of shape there, but it just needs enhancing. And then I like to take some on my jaw, a little bit on my nose as well. So that's everything for bronzer. Then what shall we do? Let's go ahead and do brows. I have got the most dismal looking little brow pencil here, and this is from Eyes of Ours, I think, and it's in the shade Dynasty. And I have been looking for a better eyebrow pencil. I'm not really a fan of them. I really dislike brow pencils that kind of you have to sharpen. I just find them to be too soft. This is one of those that you wind up and it's kind of not warm toned at all. And I don't use much of it. I just like it kind of to neaten out the ends and just kind of give a little bit more shape. And then I go in with kind of like a brow mousse type of thing, usually like a brow gel or something like that. But I like to just give my brows a more even look because they're so different. I mean, they kind of sit on different places of my face. It's really annoying. But I really like the little spoolie that this comes with. So if you've got any recommendations for kind of really good brow pencils, let me know. I know everyone likes the MAC ones. And I had a look when I was in Boots yesterday, but I couldn't see any that kind of tickled my fancy type of thing. I do like the Soap and Glory Archery pencil. That's quite a good one, so maybe I'll repurchase that one because I have had that before and I liked it. Then for brows, I'm going to use this new product from Clinique, and it's called their Just Browing Brush On Styling Mousse, and this is in the shade 03, which is deep brown, which is usually the right shade for me in brow colours. I am going to do a video about kind of new products in beauty, and this is going to be in that video. The colour looks a little bit warmer than I would like, but let's see. Basically, once Benefit did the Gimme Brow, these products kind of started coming into lots of different brands. But I like that they just add a little bit of fullness to my brows, and they help to keep everything in place. Although the hold on this, I used it yesterday and the hold on it wasn't as nice as I usually would like, but it depends on the type of brows that you've got. Mine are kind of ones that like to go everywhere. So that's everything for brows. Then on my eyes, I'm going to use something really exciting that's new, and it's a new shade from the Maybelline Colour Tattoos, and this is the shade Creme de Nude. It looks like this. Looks kind of yellowy in the pot, but it's kind of when you swatch it, it is more nude coloured. Haven't used this yet, but I'm a big fan of these, and I'm really excited that they brought out some matte shades because I think that was really lacking in the line in general. Now the brush I'm using is actually a concealer brush. It's the Zoeva Concealer Buffer, the 142. But the reason I'm using this is because I really struggle with cream eyeshadows. I just don't like using them as much with my hands. I feel like they look nicer when you use a brush, but I struggle to kind of find a brush that works well with them. So this works quite nicely. I really like this so far. It's kind of neutralising my lids, which is always nice. Just making everything look kind of fresh and less veiny. So yeah, I really like that. It's really lovely. And they do a pink one, well, one that's kind of a nudie, pinky undertoned one too. That looks nice, that I haven't tried yet. This would be a lovely kind of just everyday cream eyeshadow. You could use it with fingers, I suppose. I just kind of find with Maybelline ones it doesn't work as well. So now I'm going to do a little bit of eyeliner, and the eyeliner I'm going to use is one that I haven't used before, and it's the Body Shop Matte Kajal. It looks like that. It looks really unusual actually, and I'm going to get a little bit closer to the mirror and just kind of line my upper lash line. Oh, okay, right. Let's do this. I know I'm kind of pulling my eye, but you have to kind of get into every bit of the lash. I hate it when you get those like little skin coloured gaps. It just looks so naff. Okay, So I've kind of done that, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of a wing. Let's see how that works, although I haven't got any cotton buds to kind of neaten it out if it goes wrong. Let's leave that one like that and then do the other eye and see how we go. It's very, very easy to use though, very pigmented, but it's quite big. Which I suppose might appeal to some, but I definitely like a thinner line. I mean, it's okay, but it's very, very pigmented, and I do like the fact that it's matte. It kind of looks nice. So let's just try and match the little wing. I mean, obviously this is not the best thing to be creating winged liner with, because it's kind of a little bit soft. But I'll have to neaten that one up with a cotton bud in a minute, but that'll do. Then I'm going to do a little bit of nude liner in my waterline, just because I do this all the time. I kind of need it. And this is the Pixie one. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I have started watching The Walking Dead, and last night we watched the final episode of season 4, and I've woken up today thinking about it, and I keep feeling like, you know, I need to know what happened. It was just such a good ending, and I've just been really, really into it, and I've really surprised myself because I really didn't think that it was for me. I kind of didn't want to watch it for a really, really long time. I'm going to use the Clinique Chubby Lash Mascara. I haven't used this before, so this will be interesting. In fact, I'm going to do it with a different mirror just because I like kind of mirror positioned underneath me. Okay, so the brush wasn't what I was expecting. It's kind of like a little plasticky bristled brush. Usually with when they say kind of fattening mascara, I figured it would be kind of more of a volumizing one, which tends to have a kind of more traditional brush, but let's see. I always find it difficult with mascaras at first though, when you first open them, because they're always so wet and it just works weirdly for me. It's very, very few mascaras that I like upon first use. Oh, it's made my eye go a bit funny. I think I must have been holding my eye weirdly. So let's just pop this. I'm pulling like the world's most attractive face right now, I know. And I always end up with mascara on my upper lids. I don't understand how people don't do that. Like, I think it's something to do with the shape of my eyes or how I hold mascara. I don't know, but I cannot not get it on my lids no matter what mascara I'm using. It's just so strange. Oh. It's because the formula is so wet. It's kind of in my eyes a little. Ooh, let me just have a moment. That's a bit weird, isn't it? It doesn't usually happen. Combination of the eyeliner, I suspect too, but look, I mean, I think it's because I blink. If you've got any tips on how to prevent that from happening, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I'm not going to do anything on my lower lash line just because I kind of feel like, because of the eyeliner being thicker than I usually like, that's enough. But the mascara's okay. I don't, like I said, like to do reviews for mascaras upon first use really, because I don't usually like them on first application, so I will give this a kind of fairer chance, but I do think I'm going to like it based on the shape of the brush. Quite fluttery, quite separating, not the most volumizing thing in the world, but nice. Then we're going to do lips, and I'm going to line my lips first with a number 7 nude lip liner. Sorry about that, my camera cut out for some unknown reason, but I'll run you through quickly what I did. I only did kind of cheeks and lips, so it's not anything massively dramatic. But for my lips, I used these two products. This is the number 7 lip liner in nude, and then I used this Chubby Stick by Bagsy, and it's a new brand. It's their Wow Lips full colour Chubby Stick in the shade. What's the shade name? I'm not sure, I'll have to put it down below, but it's basically this colour. It smells amazing. It smells kind of like cherries. It's really nice. And then on my cheeks, I don't want to have too much blush because of the kind of deeper lip. So I use this blush here, and it's called Fox in a Box. It's by Hard Candy. So just a little bit of that on my cheeks. And that's the finished look. I hope you enjoyed it. I know this was a super long video, so apologies if you don't like the really long videos, but I will see you all in my next one.